there, and welcome to the 2 Feet First Entrepreneur Podcast. I am so excited that you are here today with me. But before we jump into this episode, I want to share the automated assistant because it walks you through how to set up automations inside your business to allow you to gain back time inside your business, or in other words, free up time in your business. This is a one-of-a-kind course that I created, and it's currently open for enrollment for the next 2 days. So if you're watching this live and you are interested, be sure to click the link in the description to see more details on that. And if you are listening to this in the future, you can join the waitlist at any time to be notified when the doors do open again. So be sure to find that link as well in the description below. Now with that, let's jump into today's episode. It's a new month, which means I'm sharing a new business book that I read. And if you're new here, I like to share first off, my goal for the year and for every year here on out is to read a new business book a month. And so I am going to be sharing the book that I chose, and next week I'll actually be joined by other people because I'm starting my business book club. I guess that's what we'll call it. And so next week, we're calling it the Level Up Club, but it's a book club. And next week I'll be joined with some other people. We will discuss that book. And that book, just so you guys kind of know, is going to be Atomic Habits by James Clear. And so if you want to join us with that, be sure to start reading now to be able to know what the book is about beforehand, or you can just join us then and then know what to look for in the book. The book has different sections, and I am just kind of breaking down those sections into other little groups just so you kind of know. But number 1 is learn in front of others. I will be summarizing some of the book, so just note some of this is quoted from the book and some of it is my own words because I want to give you what I'm thinking as well when I read the book. So, amateurs might lack training, and we all start as amateurs, just so you guys know, but they're lifetime learners. So if you feel like you are a lifetime learner, someone that's always striving to learn something new, you would be considered an amateur in this sense. They make it a point to be open so that others can learn from their failures and their successes. Now, when I think of this, I think of entrepreneur. It screams entrepreneur to me because we are all lifetime learners in growing our business, trying to move forward, but we make it a point to share what we learn, either if it's the failures or the successes, with other people. Okay. So I just want you to kind of note that we are all beginners in this. Okay. So sharing your work is to think about what you want to learn and make a commitment to learn it in front of others. Okay, so when we are sharing our stuff online, our creativity, we started out as an amateur. We started out in the beginning and we didn't know what we were doing. And so the point is of this number 1 is learn in front of others. So you want to share what you learned or are learning in front of your audience. And I'm going to call our audience the IC. So it's your ideal customer. Okay. So you want to be able to show what you are learning, if it's a failure, if it's a success, to your ideal community. Okay. So we need to learn in front of them. You need to show them the good. You need to show them the bad of whatever you're creating. With that too, we all follow other people, other entrepreneurs, content creators in our same niche. And so we need to pay attention to what they are sharing and then start taking notes of that and start sharing what they're not sharing. Think of it like the little gold pieces that your audience really wants to see. And so don't be afraid to get out of the box. Don't be afraid to share what no one else is sharing. Yes, you can share similar stuff to what other people are sharing because it's working, but make sure you share the little things in there. And we're going to get into that a little bit more in this next one. So number 2 is to think documentary. Okay. You need to become a person that documents what you do. What are your processes? Track and share what's going on around you. Okay. Now we're going to talk about that more about like what exactly to share, but I want you to start thinking about it as a documentary. Okay. And so what you're going to do is by putting out content consistently, you form a relationship with your ideal customer, so your IC, because it allows them to see the person behind the content. So it allows them to see the person behind the camera lens. It allows them to see you for what you are and why they should follow you. Your ideal customer not only wants to stumble across great work, they long to be creative and part of your creative process. Sometimes these people are living through you. They are watching you do this so that they can do it or so that they feel like they did it themselves. So make sure you think of that every single time that you're sharing something. You are documenting how you did something so that anyone could follow along. Anyone can see how difficult it is. Anyone can see how easy it is. Anyone can see the ups and the downs and the trials and everything in between. So think of it as a documentary and share your process, the messy stuff. And this will allow the possibility to have an ongoing connection with you and your work, which allows you to sell more products in the end, or more courses, or more affiliate links, because you're being that person. You're being a friend to your audience. You have stopped being that famous person, and you become somebody that they really know. And I know we all hear this all the time, especially the people that you're probably following. You feel like that you know them. And if you saw them in person, you would probably freak out and be like, oh my gosh, how are you? And they would say, well, I don't know who you are, right? So think of it in that way, that you are sharing with them so that they become part of your world. That is your main goal, is think of it as a documentary to give them a part of your world. The next one, number 3, is one piece at a time. So you know the little saying, it's like if you take a penny every day, it all adds up. So one piece of content will add up over time. That's this whole concept of this one. But I'm going to kind of talk about in the next few about the type of content that you should be sharing with that. So it's one piece at a time. So you need to find a little piece of your process that you can share each day. Okay, a little piece, a little glimpse. And I went to a conference, and the lady that was teaching one of the classes, she called it juicing your content. And I love the term. I know you might not love it, but I really love it once you hear the process behind it and the explanation behind it. So you take your one idea. So I'm going to share in the space of DIY. So I am going to repurpose a piece of furniture. Okay. You could just show repurposing the piece of furniture, or you could show how do you even find the piece of furniture? Where's the best places to look for furniture? What's a good deal on a used piece of furniture? What should you look for and what should you run away from? So you're taking the little bits of pieces along the way to get to that main content idea. So you're sharing the journey. You're documenting what happens at every step. So you take one little piece, and that's what you share every single day. And when I say share, I am assuming you know where you're sharing this. You're sharing this to social media every day. And this is where the consistency comes in, and be able to get to be a part of where your customer or your audience gets to become part of your world and see how things all come together. So you're going to take that little piece and share every day. And you're going to think of the content process. So how do you get from A to B as the extras? So think of it like the movie extras or the deleted scenes in a movie. And you get to share these extras while the movie is being made. And your audience is going to eat it up. I mean, I know that for a fact, we all would love to see behind the scenes of some things. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting here watching another content creator and wondering, how are they doing it all? How do they do that? How do they do this? How do they do that? We need to show the little steps, the processes in between that you honestly probably don't think anybody wants to see, because those are the things that probably will get the most traction because you're sharing all the little details. So one piece at a time. But here's the thing. You don't want to show your lunch. You need to show your work, the process of creating something, and the thought and the work that goes into making it. So, you see those people that are like, look at my lunch, look at my latte, look at all these other things. That's not what we're talking about in sharing social media. That doesn't help your audience in any way. You need to share content or show your work that actually helps them get somewhere. Don't share everything. Don't share everything. Only put content out there because you think it might be helpful or entertaining to someone on the other side. Okay? So here's the thing that you need to always do before you share content. You need to ask yourself, is this helpful or entertaining? And if it's not, then you shouldn't share it. And if you're questioning it, in the book, he says to also save it as a draft and come back to it and see if your mind changes about it. But that's just, if it's not going to help your audience, why should you share it? Because honestly, if you keep sharing the content that nobody's gaining anything from, then why do they follow you? I mean, if you're a raving fan, there's certain people that can do this, movie stars, that kind of thing. But for us entrepreneurs, we need to share stuff that helps people, that entertains people. So keep that in mind when you're sharing this one piece of content every day. Make sure it is useful and that they're going to gain from it, even if it's just a laugh or, ooh, I didn't think of that. So make sure you're sharing content every day that is helpful or entertaining, and always you ask yourself that question. Okay. Number 4 is be yourself and don't be perfect. Okay, I added that, don't be perfect, because I think that we all need to hear that all the time, is that we are not perfect and we can never be perfect. So don't worry about trying to be perfect. So be yourself and don't be perfect. And with that, the reason why I put that is because inside the book, he talks about when you find something that you enjoy doing, which I assume that you do if this is if you're in a business. You enjoy doing it. You started this business because you enjoy it. So don't let anyone sway you or make you feel bad about your choices, about your niche, about your content that you're sharing, about anything like that. If you find it to be helpful, beneficial to people, don't feel guilty. And don't feel like you have to fit into a box. And when I say the box, I'm talking about all those other people that you follow that are inside your niche. You don't have to be like them. You don't have to fit in the same box that they are in. You can create your own box, because guess what? Your people want your box. They want to be part of your world. They don't want to have everybody being in the same box, because that's kind of boring. And then they get the same content over and over again. So they're really just going to pick one person. So don't feel like you have to be in the same box as everyone else. Because to become exceptional, a successful entrepreneur, a successful business, you first have to stop trying to be like everyone else. You need to start being yourself and stop being perfect, because guess what? You're not. And the messy is actually what people like. They like to see the messy. They like to see that you are normal, that you are just like them. So don't give into the pressure of self-editing too much. And when I say that, don't go through and edit all your videos like crazy. Don't add tons of filters that make you not look like yourself. Don't self-edit. Don't go through and feel like you have to read a script word for word. I did that for so long. And sometimes it is that you're not comfortable with it. But I can tell you how much more freeing it is. And I feel like I get to be more like myself. I get to be more personal with you as my audience on how and who I am. And so make sure that you do not self-edit too much in your content that you're sharing. And be open, honest, and yourself is the best way to connect with your audience. So from that one, I want you to remember to be yourself, be open, be honest, don't fit into the box, and you don't have to be perfect. Okay. Number 5 is share. And this is going to be different than what you think. So when I say share, I'm going to hurry and give you a quote so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this quote is by Jeff Jarvis. And the quote is, "Do what you do best and link to the rest." Okay. So when you're sharing, you do what you do best. If there's something that you don't do well or that you learned from someone else, you should be sharing that with your audience. Don't be afraid to give credit where credit is due, okay? Because we all started somewhere. We all are still learning because remember, we're those entrepreneurs, we're those amateurs that are learning, that are sharing what we're learning. And that process will include other people. So don't forget to share. Make sure you give a shout out to the people who have helped you stumble into good work, and also leave a trail of that for your audience. So what I'm meaning by this is make sure, you can give people, okay, I have a statistic for you in here. And so this statistic is that we all know people are lazy. We're all probably kind of there too. There's days when we're just lazy and we don't want to do anything. But if you don't provide a link to your audience, basically this content that you're sharing is useless because 99% of people will not Google something, will not search for something. They want easy. Okay, remember that. They want easy. If you're sharing something, give them a link. And when this can go for anything, hey, go visit my new podcast episode, give them a link. Hey, go see my new course, give them a link. Hey, go see my new Instagram post, give them a link. If you are not making it easy, that you are actually robbing your ideal community from growing themselves. First off, you would be robbing the people that you're not sharing, but also you're robbing your own people. And we all know that we don't want that because we're here to share with our community. We grow as a community. So make sure you're sharing what you're learning from other people and giving a link for your people to go down a rabbit hole, to go down and follow the breadcrumbs, whatever they need to do. And don't be afraid for them to leave your area and go to someone else's, because guess what? If that content is worth something, because you're sharing it, I hope it is. If that content is worth something, that means more to your audience than anything. It is showing them that you care about them. You're giving them resources outside of you to help them, and they will always come back to you because they'll say, okay, they gave me this awesome tidbit. I'm coming back to them because what else are they going to share with me? So don't think of it as losing people. Think of it as helping your audience and gaining more, giving them more trust in you, and they're going to be more loyal to you. Oh my gosh, you could go on and on with this because this is only going to show your audience how much you care about them and how much you want them to succeed. So never think of this as a loss for you because it's not. You are helping your ideal community way more than you could if you tried to share something yourself. And yes, we do all have to start somewhere. We do have to share the messy. We do have to do all the things and figure stuff out. And that's why you're sharing the messy. But you can also share, hey, this idea came from so-and-so, and here's how I try to do it. It was messy, but guess what? Here's where we're at, okay? So it can be as easy that where you're still sharing, but giving them the main area. Think of it like this book that I'm sharing today, right? I am walking through what I actually learned from the book, what stuck out to me, but I want you to go and read this book yourself because I gained from it and I want you to gain from it too. And so I'm sharing my little bits because honestly, I'm taking very, very little out of this book from what's actually in there. So make sure that you think of that. Like, I'm sharing this to help my audience grow. Okay. Number 6, the very last one, is the right eyeballs. Okay. There's a quote from the book, and it says, "Stop worrying about how many people follow you online and start worrying about the quality of people who follow you." And this one really, really stuck to me. This one was a really big one for me because I've been in business for quite a while in my DIY home. I really wanted to get my following up, but I really haven't put the effort into it fully. I'm going to start trying into into Instagram. My other areas are larger in the following. But here's the thing that you have to keep remembering. You can have tons of followers, but if they're not interacting with you, if they're not growing from you, if they're not the right people, the right eyeballs, if they're not, the right eyeballs are not following you, then they're not even, why are you counting them as a follower? You're not benefiting from it. They're not benefiting from it. So instead of thinking of how many people are following you, we need to make sure that we're getting the right followers. Okay. Quality. We want quality eyeballs on our content. We want the right people at the right time following our content. So become worth following. And we've kind of talked about the different ways that you can do this before, which was learn in front of others, show them the messy, document stuff, share one piece of content a day. And honestly, I don't feel like you need to do it every day. Do like 5 days a week or 3 days a week, but share consistently and be yourself and make sure you're sharing other people's content because that's collaboration. Okay. So become worth following. Don't just post up a reel because it's trending. And so you've got to try to make it go viral. Does it benefit anyone? Remember, is it useful? If not, don't do it. That's not going to benefit your people. And that is starting to I've heard this from many, many social media gurus, I guess you would call them, that people are starting to get more particular about following original content, not the trending audio, not that kind of stuff. They want to see the documented journey. They want to see you in the video. They don't want to see you dancing unless it has some purpose behind it. Okay? So remember that. Become worth following. And here's another thing. Having your work hated by the wrong people is a badge of honor. Spending your days avoiding the vulnerability will never allow you to connect with the right people. Okay, I'm going to hurry and quote that in a different way because that came from the book. So spending your days avoiding something because you're either afraid of it, you're not sure if it's going to work out, no one else is doing it. What are people going to think of me? Am I going to lose a ton of followers? I don't know about this. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. Stop avoiding it because that'll help you get rid of the people that you don't want and get the people that are right for you, your ideal community. So stop being afraid of what people think about failing because those people that follow you for those reasons are your ideal community. They are your loyal fans. They are going to be the people that you share something with them and they're going to want it immediately, just like that, because you said it's good, because they know that you are honest, that you are open, that you tell them the good and the bad. So they don't have to go searching. They know that you're a trustworthy person. That is why they want to follow you. Those are the right eyeballs. You want those eyeballs, not the people that always have the complaints. There's always something, right? Because you can never please everyone. You never, ever can. But you can please and find the right people. And that is something that I am working on. And I know that my content that I'm sharing could be helpful to other entrepreneurs, but I'm going to be honest with you. I specialize in content creating entrepreneurs. I specialize in the Instagrammers, the YouTubers, the bloggers, the Pinterest people, because that's my world. And so that's the people that I want to help because I know you, I understand you. So those are my right people. Those are the eyeballs that I want seeing my content. And if you are those other people, I'm sorry that I'm saying this because I do have my ideal community. I have the people that I am really striving to help, but that doesn't mean that you're not important. And I am so happy that you're here with me. And I'm so happy that you're finding value in this. At least I hope you're finding value in it because it can be translated between all businesses. But at the same time, a content creator, I feel like this is a term that a lot of people don't know about, or that maybe it's skewed. That's probably the best word. A content creator is anybody that shares content online. That can be a regular local business. So don't let me fool you when I say Instagrammers, bloggers, YouTubers. If you're sharing content online, you are one of them. Okay. So don't let that fool you. I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but make sure you find your right people. It's finding the line about not caring what everyone thinks, but about what the right people think of you and your business. So we're all online entrepreneurs who create content, and it's important to get our work seen by as many people as possible. And I feel like sometimes we get sidetracked with things. Sometimes we go down rabbit holes. Sometimes we think something's important when it really isn't. So I really want to encourage you to share your content on social media. It's a great way to reach new audiences and grow your business. But we need to make sure that our goal is to make your ideal community better at something they want to be better at. And that is why they are following you. They want to be better at something. So that's why they're following you, because you are going to help them be better at something. You are sharing that useful content, the journey from A to B, to help them get there as well. By following these 6 steps, and I'm going to rename them again. The first one was learn in front of others. So that is sharing the good, the bad, and the messy. Think documentary. So sharing your journey, one piece of content at a time. So you're going to be trying to share as consistently as possible. Be yourself. Don't be someone else. Don't fit into the box. Share. Make sure you add that link so people can follow. And the right eyeballs, which is having the right people follow you because you are helping them grow. You are helping them. By doing all this, you'll be able to get your content seen by more people, which is the right people, and it'll boost your you'll boost your business online. And it will happen with little effort. Like you'll be surprised how little it is. We're overcomplicating things, I feel like, in this business space. And I think that's what held me back for so long is I felt like everything had to be so perfect and I couldn't share the messy. I couldn't share the mishaps. I couldn't share this little thing that I didn't think anybody would want. For example, I was talking to my husband today, about painting and how you shouldn't stack stuff together because it sticks together. And he looked at me and he's like, well, isn't that common sense? And I said, no, it's not, because we all don't know that. We know that because we've done it so many times. So it's sharing those little things. So I could share, don't stack your pieces together after you painted them because they will stick. They need to allow cure time. Stuff like that. Okay, that's what we're talking about. Sharing those type of little pieces of details to your audience, those little tips, those little documentary tips, those little things that you might not think that you need to share. And with that, I'm going to encourage you again to read the book, Show Your Work by Austin Kleon. And there will be a link to this in the description so you can find it easily. And so be sure to read it, because the book says right here, 10 ways to share your content and get discovered. And that's what I want you to do, is get discovered by more of the right people. I mean, come on, that's what we all want. Our goal is to grow our businesses, to enhance our businesses. And so this is one way that we can do it, is being our true selves. So don't forget that. And with that, I will see you next time.